boys and girls, this is your reading lesson. I am going to read a story out of your small reading book, which you do not have, so you can sit back and listen. And I'm also going to introduce your reading vocabulary words for today, and we'll use these all next week. The first one is agree. Say agree. And when you agree, you say something is true or you will do something. So it says, Grandma and I agreed to play a card game. Say challenging. Challenging is something that's difficult and hard to do. Say discover. When you discover something, you find it or find out more about it. This little guy's discovering something in his backyard. Say heroes. Heroes are people who have done brave things. And this is actually, we're going to talk about this when I'm done. Everyone say interest. An interest is something that you like. I had lots of boys this year that were interested in Pokemon. I saw Pokemon cards like during recess and stuff. So interest is something that you like. Perform. When you perform, you act it out. Everyone say study. When you study, you practice something, you review something. So please study your vocabulary words. Succeed. When you succeed, it ends up the way you wanted it to. Whether you're winning a game or you're finishing an assignment, but it's ending up the way you wanted it to. So there are your words. And we're going to talk a little bit about what does it mean to be a hero? That's our essential question. So what do heroes do? A hero is someone who is looked up to by others because of his or her achievements and courage. A rescue worker is a hero to many people. And right now we have so many people that are heroes in our community. We have all the nurses, all the doctors, all the firefighters, all the police officers, all the people who still have to work, like a lot of your parents. I know some of your parents are working. They, to me, are heroes. I have to stay home. I'm staying home. I'm not being, a hero to other people, but people who are out working, keeping our community going, those are heroes to me. Rhett's soccer coach emailed all the parents and asked us to tell the kids to write a thank you note to a hero. So Rhett wrote, he made this, and then Rhett wrote, he says, I have no idea what it's like to be a frontline worker, that's like working as a nurse or a doctor, but all I know is that it is very tough. So I just want to thank you, from Rhett. So we're actually going to mail this out to St. Rita's, and hopefully a doctor or a nurse will get that. So to Rhett, a frontline worker is a hero. Okay, so we're going to read about a hero today, and his name is Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez. There's his picture. Even though this is, the pictures are painted, this is a biography. It's a true story about one person. His name is Cesar Chavez. You can see the setting. We're outside. We're using vegetables. And he is a hero. So kind of think for a second. What did he do that he became a hero? You will see. Very impressive. All right. Who are your heroes? For many farm workers, Cesar Chavez is a hero. He is the brave man who spent his life helping them. So he helped farm workers. Farm workers are people that are hired to go out to a farm to pick the produce, the apples, the oranges, the lettuce, the cauliflower. It is a back-breaking job. You're bending over all day. It's hot because of the sun, and you don't get paid a lot of money. So let's see what he did to help. Childhood. Cesar Chavez was born in Arizona. His parents taught him about learning, hard work, and respect. Cesar worked on the family farm as a young boy. He helped care for the farm animals. His mother and grandmother taught Cesar about caring. Many people came to their door asking for food, and his kind of family always shared. So his family always shared. Caesar had a strong interest in education. This desire to learn was sometimes hard on him. Spanish was his first language, but he needed to learn and study English. At school, he was punished for speaking Spanish. So his first language they learned at home was Spanish, but he's now learning English, and he could not speak Spanish at school. He would get in trouble. His mother taught Caesar to find peaceful ways to solve his problems. These lessons helped him succeed later in life. He would win struggles without fighting. So he learned not to fight, but to get along with others. So there's another picture of him. It's like they got some kind of flag. Hard times. When Caesar was 10, it did not rain for a long time. So if it doesn't rain, what happens to your crops? Yeah, they die. So let's see what happens. This drought is when it does not rain, caused the plants on the farm to die. Without crops to sell, Caesar's family couldn't afford to keep the farm. Then Caesar's family moved to California where there was no drought. His family traveled from farm to farm and worked the crops. Caesar and his family would quickly discover that migrant farm workers had difficult lives. Their challenging jobs forced them to work long hours for little money. The workers bent over all day tending to the crops. The work they had to perform made their backs hurt and their fingers bleed. If workers complained, farm owners would fire them. So all day they had to bend over. They did not get paid very much. Their fingers would bleed. Their backs would hurt. So that was hard times. This is changing lives. Caesar knew the migrant workers were not treated fairly, so he decided to take action. He told the migrant workers he had a plan. It was time for grapes to be harvested or picked. Caesar told the workers to stop working. This was called a strike. So because they weren't paid very much, Caesar told the workers to stop working, and it's called a strike. So let's see what happens. The grapes began to rot. With no grapes to sell, the landowners lost money. Finally, the owners talked to Caesar. They promised to pay better. After that, the workers began picking the crops again. So with all the workers said, nope, I'm not going to pick. The grapes started going bad, and they started rotting, and you can't sell them if they rot. And that was called a strike. So the owners finally said, okay, we'll pay you better. I promise. Come back to work. Cesar Chavez worked for the rest of his life to improve farm workers' lives. Would you agree that he's a hero? Yeah, he helped people get more money. Okay, here's a timeline of his life. It says he was born in 1927. In 1937, they moved to California. In 1942, he finishes 8th grade and begins full-time work. So he stopped going to school in the 8th grade, and he went straight to work for the rest of his life. 1962, he started a National Farm Workers Association. In 1965, he convinces the workers to have a strike. In 1991, he gives speeches about treating workers fairly. In 1993, he helped farm workers until he dies on April 23rd. And then in 1994, he wins the U.S. Medal of Freedom from the president. So the president thought he was a hero. Wow, what a hero, to fight against authority and saying, no, we're not doing this. You need to pay us better. You need to treat us better. And then it worked. They went on strike and they got more money. So Cesar Chavez. So on Monday, we're going to talk more about this. We'll talk about the text features, and we'll have some questions about it. And this week, we're going to talk about sequencing a story, telling a story in order. All right, so that's all for today.